let's let's get rolling and see what happens. That works for me.
I'm down.
All right. So today we are talking about trust, self-trust. How do you learn, or how do you learn to trust yourself when you have outsourced trust in yourself for so long? You've trusted your mentors, you've trusted your parents, you've trusted your guru, you've trusted your, partner.
Your
But when it
doctors.
comes, your doctors, yes.
Your
And
therapist.
yeah, everyone that is not you.
Yeah. You thought that they knew better.
Okay, Jess, can you please let us know if you're hearing an echo here?
Am I echoey?
Yeah,
Again?
is Julie echoey again?
It's almost like it's coming from somewhere, like, I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I can't remember what she says, my people. I can't remember what you did differently last time that it did not do it.
I thought that I just had put my headphones in.
Oh yeah, that is what you did. Didn't you turn something else off on like Facebook or something just a little bit, but it's fainter than the other day? Okay, that's cool. Like... Thank you, Jess. All right.
Microphone, mic mode standard. Ooh, voice isolation.
Okay, I don't hear an echo now. You're speaking.
Okay, let's try this. How do I sound now?
Yeah, I think whatever you just did works.
Am I echoing now?
You are now, but you weren't before.
And is that better?
No, there was something you did right before that I was like, oh, she's not echoing.
I pulled down my, is there an echo right now?
No, there's no echo right now. What is that? What did you just do?
I think when I pull this down, it pauses you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What is that? Yeah, when I do that, I pause.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess don't do that. Well, Jess says it's not as bad as it was the other day, so maybe we can roll with it as we continue to try to figure out.
And if it really annoys you, go to Facebook and find
if it's really like, oh my God, I can't stand to listen to this because it's too much echo. We are also live on Facebook, so you can join us there, and I'll probably write that in the comments also to join us there. Yeah. So how do you learn to trust yourself when you've outsourced trust to everybody else that is not you?
I love this topic because you and I haven't actually talked about this before, like specifically. So I'm like, ooh, what's going to come out of this?
Yeah.
Excited.
And that's what I love about our conversation, because it is organic. Even when we decide on a topic, different things come up that points us in different directions, right? Yeah. That because everything, there's always like this underpin that holds whatever the bigger story is in place. So I love that the conversation then takes us throughout the field.
Yeah, it's so good. And there's something activating too, because like before I was like, what am I going to say about this? And I'm like, oh, now I know. It just pops in.
Yeah, the download.
That is the lesson in letting go, everybody, and not having to know the answer.
Yeah. And that comes down with trusting yourself. Letting go is about trusting yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And so what just came to me, and so I feel like this is kind of like a base layer for the trusting, is just having that awareness, that self-awareness of where those conversations are coming from. So if you go to make a decision, who are you hearing? Are you hearing yourself, or are you hearing that thing that somebody told you, like about the thing to do?
Yeah.
And noticing, like, even that you have a hard time deciding,
Yeah.
is that lack of trust.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the asking, like, who do you take counsel from? Right? Like, do you ever check to see, right? Because like when you have been programmed and conditioned for so long to listen to other people because they have taken the seat of authority in your life for whatever reason, and you trust and believe them and their judgment, and there hasn't really been room for you to develop your own really self-awareness and discernment. But even when you separate from that, I mean, we see that, with um, parent and child relationship, right? When you become
I
the
was just thinking
adult,
about that.
when you become the adult and you're about to do something, and then it's that internal pull, but yet before you take the action, there's a part that goes, ew. And then you hear a voice. It sounds like your voice because it's in your head, but like, who is it really?
Yeah, I've just been like approaching this with my kids lately and noticing it, because sometimes they'll be like, even just getting ice cream, they'll be like, "What do you think I should get?" And I'm like, "I don't care. What do you like? Listen to yourself. Like, there's something in here that you want. Like, go for it. What I can't answer that question for you."
Yeah, I love that. And this is, I do feel like we are shifting times where more people are becoming more aware, and like the idea of conscious parenting is
Mhm.
more becoming something that I don't know that it's quite yet mainstream, but there are definitely more people kind of paying attention and being more aware of, how do I want to parent my kids? It's one thing to be like, well, my mom was this way, I never want to be like that, or my dad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's no consciousness. Like, you're just fighting against and avoiding, but like, you don't want to be like them. But how does that translate to teaching your kids to be
Yeah.
more sovereign, to have more autonomy, right? And yeah, it's even, it starts early in little things like that. Like, well, what flavor inspires you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, what gets you excited? And that, I
Yeah.
think that goes back to, like, I mean, for me, this journey has been so much about letting go of there being a right way.
Mm, yeah.
Like, I don't I didn't trust myself because I thought that I could fuck it up, that I could make the wrong choice,
Right.
and then therefore I couldn't trust myself.
Yeah. Man, that's big. Like, the right way. It's such an illusion. Like, the right way according to whom?
Yeah.
We never question that, right? Oh, you got to
Yeah.
do it right. Well, according to whom? Like, who is the master, the person deciding this is right, this is wrong, especially in your life, right? And
Mhm.
and even if you've done things a certain way for eons, for generation. I remember when I for those of you who don't know, I think most of people with my IG know that I'm Haitian, and our cuisine can require some steps to it, right? And I had never learned how to cook when I was in Haiti, but I watched people cook a lot, right? Because I was still young, and I watched people cook, and I had like, oh, I think I can do this, right? And I remember when I came here, and I was like in my teen, maybe like, well, I was older because like in my teen, I did all the steps, right? That I saw
Yeah,
them
yeah.
do. I did all the steps, and that's how I would prepare the meal. But then when I got to like, I would say early 20s, I started to improvise. I started to like feel inspired to do things differently. And I remember my mom would come in the kitchen like, "What are you doing? That's not how you do this. You're supposed to add this before that." And I'm like, why?
Why?
What was really interesting about that is like I had been cooking that way for a while and she didn't know, and the meals were coming out the same. Right.
Yeah.
So I already had practice and knew what the outcome of the choices that I was making was going to be, but she didn't. So she comes in and she sees me for the first time, you know, going against all rules of Haitian cooking. And I'm like, do you realize this is how I make this now?
Yeah.
And you've been eating it for a while.
It's so interesting how it starts so simply too, right? Like this is the way it's supposed to be. And then you realize in some point you're like, but why? Like, who says it has to be that way?
Right.
Why am I listening to that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know people and family members that have stark, very set boundaries about how to cook things. And it's been decades upon decades upon decades from this parent, from that grandparent. And it's like, what do you want to do? Like,
yeah.
Interesting.
So many things goes unquestioned. Like this, there was like this email going around. So we're talking about food. Well, the holidays are coming up. What are you cooking and how are you cooking it? There was this email that used to be floating around about this woman who used to make her ham and she would cut the bottom. Like, have you read that story? So it went around like this woman would make the ham and she would buy it and she would cut the bottom. And then one day her husband was like, "Why do you always do that?" And then she's like, "I don't know. That's how my mom did it." So she calls her mom and she's like, "Mom, why did you always do that? You cut the bottom." And her mom goes, "I don't know. That's how my mom did it." So mom calls grandma. "Grandma, why did you do that? Why you always cut the bottom?" She's like, "Oh, because my pan was too small. It wouldn't fit." Meanwhile, everyone is going along with this quote unquote tradition, never questioning it.
And they had the right size pan the whole time.
Oh man. I mean, we're laughing and yeah, these are simple situations, but this goes across every areas of your life.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just that. It's in everything that we do.
Yeah.
That
and
we don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say we don't allow ourselves the freedom to do things differently, and we don't question, because this is how it's been in our family for so long. So we're not. That's just how it is. Like whether it works or it's like you just become so automatic to doing it that way that you never question, is there another way?
Yeah. And I think that's what comes with that awareness of like noticing why. Like I've experienced that with clients. They're like, and I'm like, you just get to choose. And they're like, what? Like, that's so much responsibility. Like, how do I know I'm going to do it right? Or how do I know I'm going to make the right decision? Or yeah. And you know, it's like, how do you trust yourself? It's like you fucking practice.
Yeah. Yeah. You just, it's just do. You just decide that's who I'm going to be. Yeah. I have clients that I've had to help them work through this as well. This like how to trust yourself. There's not a step-by-step to trusting yourself, even though like this is titled How to Trust Yourself. And the how is that you decide.
Yeah. And then you take the little actions every day.
Exactly. So what I like to play with, you know, because this is Consciousness Hacks, right? When you're asking how, flip the OW to who? Who do I get to be when I'm trusting myself? Who am I when I'm trusting myself? Instead of like how, because when we ask how, the brain goes try to figure it out like it's out there somewhere. No, it's not. So who do you get to be as the person who trusts yourself? What choices, what decisions do you make as the person who now trusts yourself?
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the only way that you're going to own that. It's like the whole confidence conversation too. Like, how do I become more confident? No, you decide to be confident and then you show up as that person. Like, does the person who's confident as fuck like not go live? No, they go live, even though they're nervous. Like they're still human, but they're confident. You're confident now, so you do the thing.
Yeah. And a lot of times, when people talk about being confident, there's this aspect of fear. When I'm confident, I will be unafraid. When I'm confident, then I won't worry what people think about me. And that's not what confident is like. You show up in spite of all that. Otherwise it wouldn't be confidence.
Right. And you're human. Like, you're human. Like, that part of your survival brain is always going to go to those things no matter. And as you get to different levels, it's always going to keep coming, and you have to choose to opt out.
Yeah. The choice.
Yeah.
How do you trust yourself? You decide. How do you trust yourself? You decide and you choose. You make the choices that aligns with the person who trusts themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not a how. It's a who. Who do I be?
Yeah.
Who do I be when I trust myself?
Yeah. Do you listen to the fear and the doubt and the chatter that says that you can fuck it up, or do you take the action?
Yeah.
Feel.
Yeah. And even question this again. We touched on this a little bit in the beginning. It's like, well, like, oh, I might fuck this up. So what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, what's the measurement here? Like, what are you measuring? What getting it right, perfect, not fucking it up, versus I might fuck it up. You might. So what?
Yeah, you're putting stakes on it, like that. It's so like you can ruin something if you mess it up.
Yeah.
So the stakes feel really high, but they're not.
Yeah.
Because you're making that shit up.
Yeah. They're gonna go as high as you make them.
Yeah. I think that's such a big thing, to realize that you're the one that's putting the pressure on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you learn to trust yourself, you can really take that pressure off. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can take that pressure off, because you like, if you choose to embody this is right according to me, not according to anybody else. And because it's right according to me, I can't fuck it up. And if I do, so what? It's still my choice. Then there's no pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. We put such stakes on life. I think so much of it comes from the outcome, right? We've been talking in our previous conversations about the outcome, and that if I do this a certain way, it's going to ruin this outcome, or it's going to make this outcome something that I don't want. But it's like, you're so focused on that thing that you don't want that like you're going to create it in order to show yourself. Now that's a completely different conversation, but I forgot why I went there. But it's like, don't, like, you're going to create what you want to create. Stop like not trusting yourself and still outsourcing it isn't going to get you what you want.
Yes. Yeah. And I think to what you're saying is like the outsourcing does come from the fear of not fucking it up.
Yeah.
Right. And then because the illusion is if someone tells me the right thing to do, then the fear will go away. Like, so it's like I'm looking for the fear to go away so that I can take the right action.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, you choose in spite of, right? I'm looking for someone to, it's out, not only is it outsourcing trust, but it's outsourcing responsibility.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like,
if somebody else chooses it for you, they are responsible for, and you have somebody to blame.
Exactly. They're responsible. They did that. They told me that. But what happens though, it's interesting though how even though that happens, sometimes we don't allow the patterns to change because we say, see, I knew it. I should have listened to myself. You're right.
Yeah. Always and forever.
Yeah, you're right. You should have listened to yourself. Will you the next time is the question. It's like, don't beat yourself up now. Like you continue to give you opportunities to practice that. Yes. Even in simple things as I mean, we talk about outsourcing to people, but even outsourcing to tools. You want to
your cards,
to your cards,
to your energy healer,
to your crystals or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and what happens, especially with the card? Oh, I knew that was gonna say that. Of course you did. Of course, it's reading your energy. Like energy is everywhere. Like your energy is everywhere. It's everywhere that you are.
Yeah.
So you get the insight you want to do something because something within you is pulling you towards that, and you're afraid because you think, when I know exactly how it's going to work out, the fear will then go away. The fear will not go away. Let's just stop it, right? It will not go away, even if you know how it's going to work out. Like all the things, we have evidence how a lot of things in our lives will work out, but the fear is still there. Yeah. But we're looking for that external confirmation. Oh, let me pull a card. Let me call the psychic hotline. Let me see what the stars says today. It's like, I don't know. Do they still have those? Probably don't.
I don't know. I was just wondering the same thing. Yeah. And it's like this, it's this big realization that like you trusting yourself and you taking responsibility for your life is you standing in your power and knowing that, being in this knowing that you are creating all of it. Yes. And when you pay attention, you start to constantly see feedback that you're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. So.
I love, that was a good ass hack today, Gerda.
Yes, it was.
It's not
yes,
the how,
it
it's the who.
Exactly.
Who am
so the
I
hack for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I as the one that trusts?
Yeah. Who are you as the one who trusts yourself?
And who are you as the one that knows that there are no stakes, right? That you don't need, there's no fucking it up.
Yeah. There's no fucking it up.
That you're just going to get feedback.
Exactly. Exactly.
And like just that, like that example of like, I should have trusted myself. You're like, no, don't beat yourself up over that. Like that was literally your feedback to next time, go trust yourself.
It's information.
Yes.
It's so information. Yeah. That's such a great point. Because like a lot of time people get mad or start beating themselves. Oh man, I should have known better. And da, 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 da. It's like, okay, well, you actually knew better. You just didn't choose. Right? You knew better. You just didn't choose. And the opportunity will come back again for you to choose.
Yeah. So and hopefully you'll remember that time. And if you're a conscious creator, you're going to remember that time that you didn't, and that you will be able to do it next time.
Yes. Awesome.
So good.
So we're landing here.
The brakes have been unleashed.
Yes.
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 Awesome.
That was awesome. Always great chatting with you, Jules.
Yeah, so good.
On the
Thanks,
Consciousness
Judith.
Hacks. We'll be here again next Friday. Is next Friday Christmas?
It's Christmas Eve, so we can see how we feel. I don't know what you do. We can.
Yeah, I'm still cool. Like
Me too.
consciousness doesn't stop because it's Christmas, okay?
The need for it actually enhances, honestly.
Right.
Because how many shoulds are you operating from in your holiday fucking traditions? I should do this. I should bake those cookies. Because that's what my mom always did. But I hate those cookies.
Yeah. Oh, I should go to this party. I should invite this person over. I should. Meanwhile, if you like, that's your indication, man. If you're saying should, that tells you something.
Yes.
If it's not like that, already tells you that there's not a deep desire for that choice. So choose.
Unless you're saying, I should listen to myself.
And in that case, just listen to yourself. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday. Till next time. Bye.
Bye. How do I end this one? I always forget.